High schoolers are starting to get paid thanks to these new NCAA rules that allow players to make money out of their name, image, and likeness. Explosive scoring guard Mikey Williams, who won't even be eligible for the draft until the year 2024. He still has nearly 2 years until he has to decide even on college. He has a massive social media following, and he is getting some major deals. Williams, a San Diego native, he just signed a deal with Excel Sports Management, and the deal is projected to land him and net him millions of dollars of endorsements over the next few years, according to Excel's VP. And he is not alone. Nick Saban noted that his new starting quarterback in Alabama, Bryce Young, is nearing scholarship deals that are almost in the seven figures, and Bryce Young has not even started a game yet. So what do you think about these deals that some of these players are getting? And, what do you think about the way that these rule changes are starting to play out?
A lot of these deals are really lucrative. Like you just mentioned the Mikey Williams thing. It's great. Players are able to profit off of their name, image, likeness, and everything like that. If you wanted to buy a Mikey Williams San Jacinto or whatever school he transferred to, I think Lake Norman in North Carolina, if you wanted to buy a jersey, you can't, and he gets paid for it and everything like that. That's great. The whole Bryce Young thing and everything, listen, he's going to make so much money for Alabama. It's nice that he's at least going to get, he's going to get paid too. So that's nice. The only thing that I don't agree with necessarily with paying some of these high school kids, a kid like Mikey Williams, is because he's so young and because the pros are so far away, we don't know what could happen between now and then. And the way a lot of these places work or something like that, you don't want an ACL and the next thing you know, that's it. He loses all his endorsements, all that stuff, and it's over for him. That's the only thing, is you don't want him getting inked, signing a deal for X number of years, and then because of an injury that sidelines him, it ultimately, derails his career and prevents him from, basically, you don't want to see this kid get taken advantage of. That's the only thing that I don't agree with them paying high school kids. College kids is fine, because at least a college kid, listen, if they get injured and all that stuff, they'll at least be able to finish out their degree, get a degree, go use that degree, make something out of it. A high school kid, though, there's no guarantee a high school kid, maybe he'll go to college, but if the high school kid gets injured before that, his stock drastically falls. And then, we're not even talking NBA, the college, he might not even be in the same, be able to go to the same colleges that he would have been able to go to. So you don't want to see these kids get taken advantage of by these big time, corporations or anything, especially from that young of an age.
So I do think that I agree with the sentiment, but I have a little bit of a different take on it, and let me know what you think about it. But for me, it is different between the high school and the college kids. For someone as young as Mikey Williams is, I think it's great. I think he's great. He's optimizing his ability. And look. Mikey Williams, he's a very, very talented player. He might end up being a top 10 pick in the draft one day. Who knows? That's still a long ways away. But if there is this amount of attention paid to him, the AAU is a very lucrative business in itself nowadays, too, with all of the TV deals that they got, and the sponsorship deals they get from Nike and Adidas and what have you. There's a lot of money thrown around there. So my thing is, I think for players younger than 18, if you're not an adult, one thing I would like to see is your sponsorship money put into a trust, that you have access to when you're 18, when you become a full adult. Because what I think that does is, one, it protects the player from being taken advantage of, but not only by these agents, not only by potential friends, but by family members, but by and maybe a little bit by themselves, because look, we as responsible as I'm sure Andrew, you and I were when we were 16. You give us a whole bunch of money, you give us hundreds of thousands of dollars, we're not going to know what to do with it.
Money
we're going to be idiots,
people, dude.
we're going to be idiots. We're going to be idiots about it, if we're being honest. So, and that's also, I think, a good way to kind of remedy the situation you mentioned of if a player like Mikey Williams at his age gets injured and he doesn't amount to what he was or what he could have been in the NBA or the NFL or what have you, right? One thing that I think could help with that is having that money to kind of fall back on that he earned when he was a teenager. You know, when he turns 18, if like the NBA doesn't work out, he'll have that kind of nest egg to like either go back to college or you know what have you, like whatever he wants to do, start a business. Like I think that's a good way to protect these players and actually help them and set them up for success because you don't want to I don't think you want to kind of like have those all those influences on someone who is that young. Like see, when people forget 16 is like still very young, dude. Like I I I like the fact that they're getting representation, and I think getting sponsorship deals should be a thing. But I would like to see maybe like a trust or something of that set up for their future rather than like right then and there. Like maybe like if the family like has monetary issues, obviously, like then you pay off like whatever. But like I think there's a better system than just like flooding that money in right now. For someone like Bryce Young though, for like college players, I think it's like you're over 18. And you're especially you are the starting quarterback of Alabama. You are making that team money. You are making the SEC money. You are making Nick Saban money. You are making the University of Alabama money. Billions of dollars. Pay him whatever. Get him paid. He can make whatever he wants. And look, the NFL, man, it's a cutthroat. Like the football is a cutthroat sport. There's no guarantees for tomorrow at all. Like we've seen it, man. We've seen it, whether Joe Theismann, Alex Smith, what have you. Like these, like there's no like who was the running back from South Carolina State that was going to be great. Like everyone raved about it. It was way back in the day. Like 2010, 2011. Yeah, but he was great for all those years. He was part of that Sarkisian offense, and he ended up like tearing his ACL, and then like all of that potential went out the window. Someone like him should have that money to fall back on. Should have the ability, especially considering the amount of money they generated. So college, I think Bryce Young should make 7 million, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever he can. Make it, dude. The amount of money the NCAA makes, college football itself makes like between $4 to $6 billion in annual revenue a year. Dude, if Bryce Young gets paid 7 figures for signing some autographs and what have you, hell yeah, go for it.
I agree. I mean, I think college players, college players should be able to benefit to some degree. High school kids, I just don't want to see young kids, young impressionable kids. But I get where they're also coming from too. Where you got these fucking 16-year-old TikTok stars who can get famous off of doing a fucking basic dance on TikTok and shit. And it's just like, they're able to make millions off of that. Why is a basketball player who literally he's grinding hard every single day, he's working hard, doing all that shit, and he actually has a legitimate future, that it could potentially have a legitimate future. Why is he not allowed to capitalize? I get that perspective, but at the end of the day, I also don't want to see this kid get taken advantage of because there's a big difference between a TikTok star and and athletes. Like big difference. So
fully agree. And like I don't know exactly where that line is, but I think they're when it comes to high school players and people who are under 18, there needs to be, and I'm not saying like there needs to be a sense of amateurism. These kids should still make money. I just think when they get that money, should be optimal for their lives. And
just think about it. Just think about it. Players that are under the age of 18, 17-year-olds, they can't legally sign their professional contract when they get drafted. So that's another thing to keep keep that into consideration, is that when they can't legally sign that contract, when these kids are being offered these endorsement deals, are their parents orchestrating this? Are their parents behind it? Because if it is, that would be a lot better. Their parents consenting at least. But if this is just, a company reaching out to Mikey, yeah, we're going to give you X number of this, but you got to do this or something like that. I just don't want to see the young kid get taken advantage of.
Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.